pop this out. Okay, I guess it's just gonna have to be like that. I don't know, that's weird. Whatever. Okay. I'm just gonna do my Hey everyone, I'm just setting up some replays before I start. I'm gonna wait till I get like 2 more people, I think. I guess like right now we can just take out the fortress. So this is the fortress I have been using for a while. And it's been winning actually like quite a bit. But today we're going to make a new fortress. And we're actually going to change the terrain set as well. I think our next base is going to do... where is it? Is it 24, 21? Not that one. Actually, yeah, it's this one. So today we're going to do terrain set 20. And we're going to be making a split prison base. So we're just going to store everything. And we're going to change the defenders. So pretty much like Rin and Kalam are kind of like needed for, like, they're pretty much like the best F4. But typically, like when we're talking about base strategy, there are 4 main components of like any good base defense, or even like attacking for that matter. The first thing is like time. Like as a defender, you are trying to attack the attacker's time. So that case, like, you know, every trap is a time attack. The second thing is HP and CP. So let's just get started. So we're gonna like I said, we're gonna make a prison base. So these 2 tiles are going to be, we're gonna put some summons up. We're gonna put defender in this room. Here. A defender here. And this is pretty much gonna be the layout of our base. Here. And this is just like placeholders, so I know like what I'm putting in what places. Typically, like the first room is going to be a split room. So for this, we're going to attack and put up some pots. When you're making a split base, like the most important part is like the first room. You want to make it so the defender has to you're trying to trick the AI. Let's see. Let's put this here. Nope, I can't go there. Let's see if we can get this behind this wall. Alright, so we're gonna actually change this terrain something. Yes, that's the one. Boom. So we're gonna make the first room. For the first room, what I want to do is make sure the defender has to actually commit to something. So we're gonna put up some bait. Essentially, we're gonna actually probably remove this one right here, but we're only gonna use tornado traps for this first room and maybe the second room. The rest of the base isn't gonna run any tornado traps because what we're trying to do is not kill the defenders when they get split. We're actually trying to trap them. And how that works is we make a guaranteed split in the first room. So we're gonna put a trap here where they can't see it, and then we're gonna put some traps where they can see it, and essentially like we're gonna use that to lure out their AI. So we're gonna actually move this a little closer. Actually, no, we'll keep that there. We're going to put this one here, and then I think we're at what, 6. So we're gonna give one scroll here. This is kind of like a give me trap. Can you hear me better now? Is that better? So I'm like, this is like the first time like so what we're doing like with this base right here, is that better though? Can you hear me? I'll make sure people can hear me before I start talking. This is the give me trap. Essentially like when people come in for the first room, they usually do their first trap clear. I want to give them the impression that there's a ceiling scroll. This is also going to waste their time. They're not going to run through the ceiling scroll. But after that, once we know they've committed to the room, essentially like once they enter the room, this is going to draw their defenders. This thing right here is going to draw their defenders. We actually don't need this one. And this one is going to, even if they Yata mirror this one is going to actually ensure their defenders keep running into the room. So at that point, we're going to now put a fence up. And we're going to put 2 tornado traps. I'm going to put one here, one here. And then we're also going to put one there. So we still have about 15 points left. So we can actually do like a little bit of bait. So I might put another one. Here. And then, so next, the first thing we gotta do is now I want to test this room. I want to make sure it actually splits their defender, and we're going to use that doing Edo Itachi. And we're going to just, the subs aren't important. The important thing is that I'm making sure they get aggroed. So what I'm looking for is like, I'm looking for the first movement. If I come out here, I want to make sure they're all running like that. So like that's actually like a success. But now we're going to try with a Yata mirror. So now we're going to actually see if I can hit that pot, and then if they still keep running. Because that's what I want. I want them to still keep running. So there's this pot there, and then there's the pot behind the wall they can't see. So we're going to do our trap clear. So that sets off the scroll. And as soon as I Yata mirror, they're still running because there's the pot there. And they all get split. So we can make that a little bit better, but for now, like that's serviceable. So for these 2 rooms, we actually are not going to use defenders. The reason why we're not using defenders is because we want to trap their subs. Essentially what we want to do is we want to make them run through this gauntlet of defenders to even actually have to rescue their subs. So over here, we're going to actually put some summoning. We're going to put some grunts up. For this room, we're going to use the damage over time grunts. So if their subs do get sent into this room, they are taking a lot of damage, or they're taking damage over time. Because the aim here is not to kill them, it's just to weaken them and then actually like just keep them in that room and keep them trapped. So we're gonna put another one. For this one, we're not gonna put other damage over time. We might use we don't want confusion, because again the purpose of this room is to keep them trapped in there. So we're gonna maybe put some knockup, and then we'll put, actually we might switch this around. We might put this up here and then put this down here. We're also gonna put some chakra traps up because we do want to hit them for some chakra. Less installations. Alright, so that's full, so we're not gonna be able to do that. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna make this a 7. I think this is also a 7. Okay, yeah, so now we should have enough spot for the chakra. Again, like, it's really not important that they're able to kill the defenders here. It's mostly just to keep them trapped. And I'm using an installation on this side to make sure they kind of run towards this side as opposed to running towards, because I don't want them to spawn everything. And then on this side, we'll actually do kind of the same. We'll use our summoning, and this time we'll just use, again, we'll use knockup, and we'll use kind of darkness to kind of keep them. We'll put our, no, not that one. Darkness. We'll put that over here in this corner, and then we'll put this one up in this corner. So essentially, if they get knocked over here, there's a good chance they'll actually be able to escape from this room, because the tornado trap usually knocks them over here or like over here, so they'll probably run up. But we have a defender here, so if they do get right there, they're usually going to get killed. In this defender, we're going to actually use Wara, but we'll talk about that later. So again, for this room, because we are trying to imprison them, we're now going to use another set of defenders. We're going to use darkness over here, and we are going to use the AI travels the path closest to the exit, or towards the main. So they're going to run around this corner up here. So we'll put this one up here to kind of make sure they can't leave the room. Because again, we want them trapped, and we want the player to actually have to waste time trying to rescue them. So on this side, we now will put another damage over time. So for some reason, you know, they've gotten hit by this damage over time. They've gotten hit for a little bit of chakra, and now we're going to actually now put some bear traps over here, just to kind of ensure that they do take that damage over time. We actually might make this a little different. Put this fence over here. I think we're now at 19. All right. So we'll put one more right there. So we'll have a defender in this room again. So a little bit of back. How do I say this? With the 4 components we're attacking, we're trying to waste their time. We're trying to attack their HP. We're trying to attack their CP, and then we're attacking the player's skill. Essentially, we're trying to force them to make decisions that take time to make. So the first part is that when their subs get split, they don't know which room they're in. Typically, like when a defender gets this, where a sub gets sent to a defender room, you can tell where they're at because the defender's name pops up. So if you've kind of like scanned the base, you know exactly where your sub has gone. With this base, when they do get split, you're not going to know where your sub has gone. So already, like, we're kind of forcing them to figure out where their sub is gone. That's like our first time trap. So then we'll have another split part over here in the second room. And we'll put a ceiling scroll. And then over here, we'll actually hit them for some chakra. So actually, we're not going to use chakra traps over here. Mostly because if their subs get sent over here, they're going to run through the chakra traps anyway. So this is kind of just going to be all tornado traps. and maybe some stalls. So we're going to use a lot of ceiling scrolls, and we're going to use maybe towards the end, the exits, these tornado traps. But otherwise, we just want them using as much chakra as possible to kind of figure out where their subs are. So I'm going to test this room really quick to make sure all my traps are spread out in a way where they have to constantly keep using their trap clear. And for that, we're going to use Edo Itachi, because Edo Itachi is the main person people use for traps. I'm going to actually take this one off. And we're going to test that. We don't need our subs. Actually, we can keep them up to see where they go. So I'm just going to let them go off. So we are going to put some traps around this line right there. So they're already sent off again. We're going to see if the first trap room worked. There's a trap here. Yeah, so Rin is trapped. So we know this works now. We know this, at least this side works. So we can exit that out. But something I noticed here is when they're running around this line here, we're actually going to put up another tornado trap because we do want them to get split again. So the center line, we'll put another tornado trap. We still only have like 13 traps. Move this one up. Move this back. I'll move this over here. I'll move this right there. So now we need a pot because we do want to lure them out. Actually, it doesn't even have to be a pot. It can be anything. So we'll actually do this. We'll kind of force them to run over here. That way, even if they come up from the front, their AI still kind of targets on this, and they're forced to Yada, or they're forced to use their trap clear. If they Yada through here, we'll hit them with the ceiling scroll, and then I think we'll put another pot up over here. So we'll put like a tube. I like the pots as opposed to the. I think that should work. We're gonna make sure that Yada can't take both of them out at the same time. Oops. So I'm just trying to, I want to make sure this room actually. Actually, we gotta do that again. I would probably run through this if I was doing it myself, but since we're on stream, I'm just trying to make sure the results work. So he can't hit the pot from there, so we're gonna move that back. So we'll try it from back there. Like I said, the other thing is we can actually, we can force a choice. So again, we're gonna make sure his trap clear. So as soon as they enter the room, they're forced to commit because there's a second pot over there. They all get split. They should all be in different rooms. So we're gonna make sure this Yada works. And it doesn't hit that pot, so that's good. But I actually thought of something better. Instead of lining up exactly, we're actually gonna move this over here. This way it forces them to actually pick a direction. He's going to have to pick to fight Yada with this mirror or Yada this pot. We'll actually now, I think we're going to take some of these scrolls off. We have 19. We can actually just, no, we're going to keep the ceiling scrolls then. I'll put that on that side, so if they do run through it. So our second room is set. So now we're going to focus on our defender rooms. So our first defender room, this one is going to be Wara. The reason why we're using Wara here is because I want to force them to use their ultimate. I want to give them enough of a threat where they have to consider how they're going to approach this. Yeah, no, we're going to get to that. Right now, I just want to test Edotachi, but I'll be getting to 7th Hokage first, too. So we're going to put Wara here. So this ensures if they do land on this side, their defender has to deal with Wara. If they come up through here, they still have to go through a defender to save one of their subs. This side, again, there's no defenders because we want them to have to question where their sub is gone. Again, to kind of further force them to kind of consider whether it's worth ulting or using their ultimate or not, we set up a 2 defender room. For this room, we're actually going to use, this is going to be my anti-Raikage room. So we're going to be using defenders with high paralysis resist and high impact resistances. So my highest paralysis resist at the moment right now is Danzo. He has 63% paralysis resist. So we're going to put Danzo on the, I'm not going to put him on the, we're going to put him on the revival tile. Mostly because it's already hard enough to kill Tsunade. So we'll put her here. And we'll put Danzo there. I'll actually probably have to test this with A really quick. Where's Danzo now? Where's Danzo? There he is. So now I'm actually going to move Wara for 1 second. Mostly because I just have to test this. Where is... So my main thing right here is now testing if he paralyzes Danzo and how much damage he does to Tsunade. My A is kind of like weak, so we're not going to even really worry about that. Yes, I'll show the kit. Oh my god. So I can't really figure out something with this. We're gonna have to probably move that gate because they don't use their fire through the gate. That's unfortunate. So I'm not even sure if that worked out paralyzed, but I've already kind of figured out I need to remove this gate because it doesn't work as intended. So instead we're just going to put more bear traps. So for Wara, I'm going with his old kit, mostly because I want him to have iframe, I want him to have his seal pull, and I want him to have his defense down. I do kind of want him to be, I don't really care if he kills people. He's kind of more there for the intimidation factor. Oh my god. Why can't I do this? Save. There it is. Where is he? Okay, yeah. So for Wara, I'm using pretty much completely defensive. You'll see he has 25% manipulation resist, 20% impact resist, 16% seal resist, and 19,000 defense. Like I said, I'm not using him mostly as a kill unit. I'm using him as a stall unit. To be honest, even with this much attack, he still kills people. I've seen like he'll kill like a ridiculous amount of people still. So it's really not important how much attack he has. It's mostly about his control setup. So for this one, we're now also going to put some pots over here. We're going to put them far away enough from the room that they actually have to kind of come in a little bit. And we'll actually use we'll use mirrors. That way they're actually harder to hit, and then we'll put up a pot to kind of force their subs to come in a little bit more. So there's a lot of like testing involved in this. I'm not even gonna lie. Like this isn't really like something you don't casually make a base. There's like a lot of moving parts, and there's like a lot of layers to it. In this room we'll probably put a genjutsu. So I'm putting the genjutsu in this room because right now the only kind of spot where they can actually get a quick clear of my base is this second room. If it knocks it up into this room, top room up here, they have a chance to gate clear once they clear this defender. But I actually want to make these rooms intimidating enough that they have to, like, again, wait to use their ultimate. So for this room, we're actually going to use Edo Itachi, and we're going to put up, save that so I can set up this defender. We're going to set up Edo Itachi. My Edo Itachi is completely lunge resistant, so he's kind of an anti-Tsunade, anti-Kankuro unit. So he has 75% lunge resistances. Again, I'm not using a lot of attack for him because he has a shotgun and a defense down. He doesn't really need a lot of attack to kill defenders. I just want him to stay alive long enough to actually be able to do that. So yeah, we're gonna use Edo Itachi, and then we're gonna put up a genjutsu over here. And I want it actually like kind of in the middle of the room because I want them to be able to come up from the top and hit it. I want them to kind of have to spawn Edo Itachi. Even if they commit to it, then they have to spawn Edo Itachi. Alright, so our next thing is the ultimate for Wara. Because I'm kind of anticipating an ultimate, I want to actually make them pay for that ultimate. So this time we're going to actually now try to attack their CP. I'm sure like some of you have seen this before. You can set these up, and sometimes if an ult hits them, they immediately suck all your chakra away. So we're going to actually now test that to make sure that works. We'll just use Edo Itachi because he's a quick person to get through this. For a lot of my testing, I use Edo Itachi because he's kind of like what's considered the most meta main. This side is weak. Nope. So there we go. So that's now Gate Crash Central. I'm gonna have to go through these defenders. So we'll actually get to see like how they do. So now when Danzo uses that ultimate, it actually now forces Tsunade to constantly use her buff. So I'm actually like stuck here. I'm having problems. I'm probably gonna have to use my ultimate. Yeah, so like this room is kind of yeah, I'm dead. Not what I wanted to test, but it's good to know that room actually is kind of troublesome. I do need to set some more traps on this side though. So again, we're just gonna see, make sure like, yeah. So essentially, like, I'm gonna have to use my ultimate. Like, that's exactly what I want. I want them to actually have to be forced to use their ultimate as soon as they enter the room. So that's actually like working pretty well. So it didn't take all my chakra. So I think that's probably because it's the lower one. We're gonna see which one this is. This is the 7 capacity. And this is the 8 one. So we're gonna try the 8 one. So it's still not going to take all their chakra, but that actually is a good amount of chakra, so I'm fine with that. We'll use the 8 capacity. Actually, we'll do a 7. Because it's not going to drain all their chakra like I had hoped, we're just going to use a 7 so I can use more traps in here. So we're going to keep water. We're also going to do something more interesting. We're going to add some additional pressure here. We're going to actually kind of, I think, what is it? Do we have enough for this? So that's like 20 exactly. That's not really what I want, but we're going to try it anyway. So my other thing is, if they go to the outside of the room, I want them to actually now have to spawn more stuff. Because again, like, War's a really strong defender. He doesn't really need too many traps. I would have liked to put a gate up. So now it's like, so that doesn't work as well as I want. So we're not going to use those guys. I was kind of hoping they would, or maybe we can move them over here. Oh, we can. Okay. So that's probably like a little better. We're actually not going to run a team really quick to see how that works out. It doesn't matter who. So again, we're gonna this is a 4 split room. It doesn't really matter how they approach it with Edo Itachi. Their team is gonna get split. Move a little closer. So there's a pot there that they can see, and there's another pot behind this wall that they can't see. So even if they yada that mirror, it still aggroes as you can see. And then that also aggroes. So we're gonna see if we can rescue one of these guys. Yeah, so that's not... That room's gonna need some work. And someone was already flown to the top room. I think our other ones are over here. We're gonna see what happened to EMS. I forgot about that shot. So they're in that room over there, and you can actually see they are trapped. So that room works. It seems like they're flowing over to the other side of the room. Okay. So for this top room, we want another like really hard hitting defender. And we're gonna put him... I think we'll put him over here. We will use Jubito. So for Jubito, this is my kit for Jubito. I'm using like a very high evasive kit for Jubito, which is kind of dependent on his darkness. But you'll see he has 20k attack, so essentially if someone gets hit by Jubito, they're going down. This is my jutsu list. I could switch out Black Fireworks for iframe or his Southern Cross, but for right now I think I'm gonna stick with this setup. For the AI, we're gonna put some... We're gonna give him some stuff. And then for this side, we are gonna put all tornado traps because we want them to get flown to the other side. So that's 1, 2. We're actually gonna put these kind of like a little more spread out. Put this on the edge because a lot of people like to run towards the edge. I think those are good for our tornado trap. I'll actually move this one up here. And then over here we will put a mirror. We're gonna put some darkness. So this kind of ensures that if a sub does go up here, they're gonna get confused, and when they get confused, they're gonna run around the room. And once they run around the room, Jubito spawns, and he's gonna make quick work of them. If they get thrown over here, they're still confused, and then this AI will actually put more confusion on them if they spawn them. So another hopefully kill. So these are, looks like this is probably, these two are gonna be my strongest rooms. I gotta kind of figure out what I want to do with this Warrior room, but we're gonna test and see how that, if we get that kill split for Jubito's room. No, trust me, I've run Jubito in this setup. He still kills people. So I can't tell where they are. So they're in this room. So that other room is not splitting as much as I like, so I gotta kind of figure out what's going on over there. No one's in this room. So there is someone in Jubito's room, but I don't know what's going... There it is, he spawned. Yeah, she's dead pretty quick. So like now, because I've used my ultimate, I have to deal with a 2 defender room without it, because I use it to take out Wara. Yeah, we can test Hokage. With Hokage, and it's kind of what I did in the first part. I had like 3 tornado pots up. I mean, well, 3 pots up. We'll actually keep a sub for this because he does have a really wide trap clear. But again, because we've split this up, Sea Mountain Tempest. So he gets that trap, but there's still. So actually, no, he still has to commit too. Essentially, like this is a room. This first room is actually like really the most important room, because we're forcing them to commit. Like they have to run in the room, and if they run in the room, we aggro their AI immediately. It's like even if I'm right here, you'll see I set off the ceiling scroll, but I don't actually get these 2 pots. So even if I come in a little bit, now they're running. And we still get a split, it looks like. Yeah, we lost Ashura. I'm just trying to figure out where everyone is. So actually, so this room does work, so that's good to know that that room does actually work. But our main like focus right now is kind of like trying to fix this room right here, because we do force an ultimate. But I do want Wara to be a little bit more, so probably we might move him back a little bit. Put these guys here. Who was I about to do? Itachi. But yeah, like if there's a trap clear for the idea, like with this is like you definitely want to, you have to get them in the first room. Like everything is like predicated on that, because we're trying to split their entire team and we're trying to get them trapped. So you need to have a guarantee split here. Even if you don't, it's going to still be a little difficult to take the base out. But if they're running 4 defense, if they have 4 subs, it's gonna you know, it's not as hard. So everyone, choose the way. Yeah, see, I don't like him over there. Like I kind of wanted him up. Can we put him right here? No, we can't. There's like so many limits. You know what? We're actually gonna completely like ignore this right now, because this doesn't do exactly what I wanted. Doesn't do what I want anyway. So we're gonna actually now make this a little different. Let's see. Actually, you know what? This is. I don't know. We want those guys. We're gonna try to put one of those CP stealing traps, because people love to spawn these guys. That's 7. That should have enough for that. Yeah. Because what happens is people love to spawn these guys from far away to see if they can get them to run. But we're actually gonna have to. We're gonna move these guys a little further back, so I can move this a little further back. I think these are. If these are 8, no, they're 6. So let's see. I want to make sure this can actually hit from the front of the room now. We don't need these guys for that. I'm trying to. I want to see. Like, I want to get to the front. So no, it's too far back. So it cuts off their options, but they could still just alt, which is fine. But that's, I feel like that's kind of like the weakest room. We're gonna actually do some more stuff with this. We're gonna take this off. We're gonna put like a little bit more so we can free up some more spots. Because this doesn't really work as well as I want it to. So we're gonna put another one over here. We'll move this up a little bit right here. There's two more, so we have a chance for another pot. So I'm gonna put this over here to kind of like make use of this scroll right here. This way, if anyone still gets sent to this room, they should be sent flying. I think we'll move him. No, we'll keep him here. Genjutsu room, so we gotta figure out what we're doing with the Edo Itachi room. I might just move these guys. I can't see what his head there. So we'll try that. That way, if Edo Itachi tries to do their black flames and then use their ultimate, they still get hit for a ton of chakra. Damn, have I really been doing this for like an hour already? Okay, yeah. Okay, that I like. That I like a lot. Okay. Let's see how many points we have left. I think that's all the points in that room. No, we have two. We have four more. So we will put another. We put a pot there, and then we will put. I don't have any more stealing scrolls. Let's. What can I do with like 2 points? Oh, you know what? That works. We can put that there. And we can put this hourglass. That's fine. So figure out what to do for Edo Itachi's room. We're gonna run this now with the team really quick, and then we'll kind of figure out what I'm gonna do with Edo Itachi's room. Actually, let's go full meta team. Um, I don't know where. See, like this is. I don't know where anyone is. This is obviously like the option to go to because I know that someone's in that room over there, but I don't know where the rest are. All three of them over here. Again, like I know where everything is, so this is obviously gonna be easier for me. He runs. Dude, you see, like they can't hit him, because of all the darkness. He just wiped out two of my defenders. Looks like I forgot what I'm gonna put in here. Oh, I freaking hate these two. She ulted again. Oh my god, why won't they die? I mean, I don't like. I like the only reason why I use this is so like I can test my own base. All right, so we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with Edo Itachi's room. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna actually put more summons in this room. Edo Itachi kind of has this cool effect where he does No, nothing can go in this room. All right. I've used up all my sailing scrolls. Yeah, I have 6 points left. I have no idea what to do with this room. I think I'm all out of pots too. Oh no, I have one more. I'm probably gonna have to like spend some time figuring this one out. This one, this room, we're actually probably gonna move this over here, not this one. My one, yeah. Actually probably get rid of this. We'll actually, we'll use this instead. And then we can put a ceiling scroll up here. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly go over like my defender setups. So this is Itachi again. So I have like a pretty defensive setup for him for his defense debuff, and then I'm running 75% lunge resistances. So after he auto mirrors, he has full lunge immunity. And that's pretty much like the only thing that's special about him. So he's kind of like just a stall, but a lot of people won't know that. He still can actually like one-shot people with defense debuff and shotgun, so I don't really need to buff him with a lot of attack. Jubito is pretty much evasion, so you'll see I have like a lot of evasion tools and a lot of attack on him, and he has 22% evasion, so I'm capitalizing on his evasion buff. And then the darkness, that's why I have black fireworks on him, because it does apply darkness and it does do knockdown. Essentially, like, he becomes almost impossible to hit. And then for this one, this is kind of like my anti-Reikage room that's still kind of like in testing. I don't have a good Reikage. So you'll see right here we have 63% lunge resistances, 32% annihilation, and that's pretty much the only thing about Danzo. The other thing is he does have an evasion debuff, so Reikage actually buffs his evasion, his attack, and his crit rate. So this is kind of meant to counter that, so they can actually still hit him if he doesn't paralyze them. And then for my Tsunade, she's running 88% impact resistances, so Reikage pretty much like can't ult her, and his dash, even if it will paralyze her, it won't do a lot of damage. Reikage has 2 lunge and then 2 impact jutsus, so he can only pretty much hit her with his 2 regular jutsus. And then once Danzo uses his ultimate, she's constantly buffing, so she kind of like functionally becomes invincible. Wara is kind of my anti-Tsunade unit. Essentially, you'll see, like, again, he has 25% lunge evasion, so when he applies darkness, it becomes really difficult to hit him as well. He has 25% manipulate resistances, that's for Tsunade Slug, and then 20% impact, which counters Reikage a little bit, and then Tsunade again. But mostly, like I said, most of this is kind of like designed to kind of force the defender or attacker to figure out where their subs are, because if they get sent to this room, there's no proc that tells, like, there's no defender name that pops up that says, okay, well, this is where they are. If they get sent to this room, there's no defender name that tells them where they are. Essentially, like, they kind of have to count on the fact that, you know, if they get sent to this top room, they can get sent here, or they can get sent to this top room. I'm giving them like a lot of options as far as where they can attack my base from. If they do get sent from the top room, they can usually just ult Jubito and they can attempt to gate crash. But gate crashing this is not really it's not a winning strategy in my opinion. To counter gate crashing, you don't want to put Rin with her insta-cast, because they're just going to push subs in. So I have all her jutsus equipped. Rin's AI kind of activates when multiple defenders enter the room, so you'll kind of like see, like, if more than 2 defenders enter the rooms, then she uses her ultimate. That's kind of like what I want. And for her, we're using 100% seal resistances. We're using that to counter the Edo Itachis who kind of stand outside the gate and try to seal and, you know, then run in. so she can't get sealed. So if they try that, you know, she doesn't get sealed. The fire usually doesn't do enough damage to one shot her, so then she immediately activates her ultimate. Ashura is pretty much just here for the speed buff and the evasion. If he gets hit by like, you know, a shotgun or something, he immediately does his evasion buff, his speed buff. That's pretty much all he's here for. KLM, pretty much almost all defense, a little bit of health, or a lot of bit of health depending on how you look at it, but he has 100% annihilation resistances. This is to counter those gate crashing Indras, again, those Edo Itachis who try to insta cast. Annihilation is actually just like a really good counter for like a lot of ultimates. So what about V1 Gara, Ashura, Mei, and Shizune? So when you're setting up, so I kind of like got to get back to that. When you're setting up a base, it has to have cohesion. Like it has to, I don't know why I exited out. Like you're not just setting up a base where like the best defenders and saying like, okay, well, I put this together, it should work. You know, I have Kabuto, I have whatever. There has to be something like that base, like you're saying, like V1 Gara, Ashura, Mei, and Shizune. That sounds like a stall room. So to kind of like complement that, you want to set up a base where there's maybe one kill room and then like 3 stalls. Like you want to make them waste time, because V1 Gara isn't someone who's going to attack any F4. He's going to stall people out. Like that's the only reason you put V1 Gara in the final 4. So like, you know, as an attacker and a defender, like the 4 components of attack missions like we have to like consider are time attacks, HP attacks, CP attacks, and then player skill attacks. In my opinion, like player skill attacks are probably like one of the most effective attacks, especially like when we're talking about people who use meta mains, because people play meta mains because they're easy to play. You know, it doesn't take a lot of skill to play a meta main, so you're kind of forcing them to make decisions good players have to contend with. You know, like Edo Itachi, you know, it's all, if you're playing Edo Itachi, it's trap clear, it's defense debuff, it's shotgun. You know, like that's kind of like the pattern. They don't really anticipate having their team split because they're running a trap clear where their team doesn't get split. That's why like the first room, it's pretty much, you know, I try to run first rooms that if I'm running a split base, they're guaranteed splits. Like I'm attacking the AI and I'm attacking their player skill because they have to know how their AI is going to react to these things. So, you know, I give them like something they can see and something they can expect, and then I kind of like subvert it a little bit. I make it tricky. Like, you know, you see this pot right here, it's, you know, you have to hit this pot, but you don't see this pot over here. And if you do go for this pot right here, if you try to hit this pot right here, this pot still aggroes your defenders, still aggroes your AI. So, you know, whether you go for this pot or that pot, you're still, your team is, we can actually kind of showcase that. Actually, I need to make sure that works. If not, I'll move it up a little bit. But yeah, like you're kind of like playing on the player's expectations. Like you're not attacking Edo Itachi as a main, you're attacking the player. So you see, yeah, so we actually do have to move that up then, because that did not work the way I want. Even though, like, you know, the only way someone's going to do that is if they have knowledge of my base. So I'll move this, I think right here, should aggro. We're gonna test that. Yep, see, so they're running. You know what? We're gonna have to move one up. So we can actually move this one over here. As I move it closer, and that's why I say, like, it's a lot of repetition. Like, it's kind of like you gotta, if it's not working for you when you're testing it, then it's probably not going to work for try that there. You're not gonna be able to trick people with it. Like, if you can't, you want to be able to like tricky, but then also if a good player does come to your base, you still need to be able to get them with your strategy. So that works better. And now we're gonna make sure, we're just gonna test that first pot again. I'm actually now kind of worried about the first pot being too close. What are you doing, Waller? See, so now they actually can get that, but they're still running. Because of that pot over here. But, like, to be honest, in that case, we probably don't need this, no, we'll keep that there just in case the AI runs back. We'll just run this base one more time to test. Yeah, this is a live stream. So it's like, you know, you give them something they expect. Like, you know, see, this first tile is pretty much safe for their subs. Oh, okay, I got the trap. This is all good. I'll just hit this pot right here. Wait, why are they still running? They shouldn't be running. And now it's like, oh, there's a pot on this side. That's why they're running. And then we set them up for this space or this side. And now it's kind of like, where's my team? I don't even know where they are because there's no procs. Like, no one spawned any names, but I just see this gate right there. I kind of go to look. I get sent over here. Now Wara's up. Where do I go? You know, do I save my team? Do I go like to the defender? What do I do? Like, you want to make like the players panic. You're giving them like a bunch of choices where they kind of have to decide, which way do I go? Do I go this way? Do I go that way? Where are my teams? You're giving them like an information overload. So like now it's like, okay, I have my Tsunade, and now she's gone. Where did she go? There's a War in this room. I can usually use my ultimate to kill him. Where's my other sub? I don't even know where he is. We'll check over here. He's not over here. He must be in the top room with Jubito. So we're actually gonna now, I want to do that room with Jubito a little better because I do want to make sure they spawn him. We're gonna wait till Tsunade to come over. And like, you know, while all this is happening, they still have to consider that there's time. Because that's the other thing, like, a lot of players are uncomfortable with time. They're so uncomfortable with it. Oh, he's still in there. We can probably do this from a little better too, because I don't like how easy it was for me to do that. So he was able, alright, yeah, so I already know what we're gonna do. Killed Tsunade in one hit. We're actually gonna move, because the AI will run towards where the main person playing is, we're actually gonna move Jubito over here. So this way, if they get thrown over here, they have to run towards Jubito. We're actually gonna move all of this over towards here to kind of ensure that. The only time, like, for this top room, the only time I have to like worry about not spawning Jubito now is if the player gets thrown over here, which is fine because I want them to kind of like waste time anyway. I want them to like think about how they're going to try to take this room out. But for the AI, like, if the AI gets up here, they need to die. I want to make sure they're dead. So we're gonna move Jubito over here. We're gonna move this stuff all the way over here too. So we can put this here. We don't need this tornado trap here anymore. We can probably put that maybe over here. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna try that one more time. I mean, but sometimes like also like this is like no base is ever going to be like 100%. So you know they might get lucky over here. Everyone got sent to the same side. I missed. But we can do this room better. I feel like this is the room I'm gonna edit now. And then like after like your testing, it's just like once you kind of like come up with your concept and like think like your first room is working as intended, you're just touching up everything else. Like you're just making sure everything else is like working as intended. So like you know you're running through your base multiple times to make sure you know the defenders are maybe a little bit harder or the setups work. Let me just do this. Turn it up there. We'll probably move that over. So then we're gonna like kind of make sure this works for this push-in. I want to make sure he kind of he gets killed fast. Or I want people to be able to push in subs and they like live for 10 seconds until like my Rin ults. But that's the other thing about bases like this. When you're playing your base, Rin will always insta-cast. So you can't really like test this out, unfortunately. So we're gonna I'm gonna mess around with this Danzo in this Tsunade room because I don't know if anything. So the problem with this is like this isn't really like a high damage room, unfortunately. So we might have to switch out Danzo for another unit. I feel like I would like to like make Danzo work there, mostly because he does have really high paralysis resist. But yeah, I don't feel like it's gonna work because of his attack. So in that case, we might use Edo Minato instead, because he does have like a lot of good evasion. But in that case, we'll actually probably switch them around too. We'll probably put I'm just gonna do this so I can switch these guys. We'll put Edo Minato here, and then we'll put Tsunade on the revival. So this is like now less of a Reikage room, less of a counter for Reikage, except for Tsunade's just resistances to his ultimate, unfortunately. But like I do want there to be like some threat of danger here. Like I don't want someone to be able to just kind of run in this room. So we'll leave this mirror here. We'll leave this mirror here, and then for Minato, his most annoying defense setup for me, in my opinion, is not his is his teleport. Like his teleport is annoying, so we're gonna set that up. I think that's not that one. This one, yes. So my Minato is pretty much high attack, high evasion. You'll see he has 24% evasion, and then 19k attack, and then just under 24% crit. He has a level 5 ultimate, and everything else is just kind of like maxed out. So for his load order, what we'll do is we'll put his warp first, because we want him to immediately, as soon as the defender enters or attacker enters the room, we want him to kind of like use his iframe and just start from wherever. We want him to be like pretty much like completely random. And then we'll put on his confuse and then his evasion, and we'll kind of set him up like that. We actually don't need this pot now, because we do have like high attack here, and they should be kind of like going as soon as they enter. So we'll put some more smoke bombs, and this is just to make it harder for them to hit and harder for them to see. And we'll test this one more time. So now I'm gonna play as like someone like who doesn't know my base. I'm just gonna like trap clear everything. Never mind it there. So that means they're on the other. So Tsunade and Wara are on the other side. Then they're past Wara. Why did I do that? Wait, okay, that was... This is ridiculous. He also can't do like a lot of damage to me because like all my resistance is in defense. But he's just gonna like slow kill me to death. How did she start that? Okay, so we're gonna try this again. So I didn't do that right. I'm probably gonna get up soon. I'll like fine tune this a little bit more later probably. But yeah, like damn. But yeah. So I mean, like, does anyone like have any other questions or anything like that? Because if not, I'm probably gonna end the stream in like 10 minutes. I feel like, but no, actually, I have to do this room. So I want to get to that top room. The Edo Minato and Tsunade. Yeah, that room is still kind of easy. Oh shit. Try out Gara and DMS Kakashi in tag team room. Um, I mean, I'm probably not gonna do that right now, just because like that's something I might test later. But like this is kind of like the base. I want to see like how much is going to win. I saw like I'll have to work on this room and I have to work on this room. But I think like as far as like splitting up people and if they're not expecting it, like I'm playing this base and I know where I put things. I know like what it looks like. I know what my defender stats are, all that stuff. But if a total stranger is attacking this, then I'm kind of like interested to see like what happens. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, like the four like main components again are like you when you're thinking like of making a base, you want to attack the attacker's time. So essentially, like you're forcing them to make decisions. You're forcing them to figure things out. Houses are really good for that. Like all traps for to a certain extent are elements of time attacks. But there are ones that are obviously better than others, like the house. That's like a really good stall. So like maybe you run some DOT summons and then you put a house right after that, so people are taking damage over time and then they're forced to sit in the house for longer. Same thing like putting up paper bombs before houses, stuff like that. And then even defensive defenders, like there are a lot of really good defensive defenders who people immediately write off because they don't do high damage. And you don't necessarily need a defender to do high damage. Sometimes you just need them to take up a lot of time. Because the goal is to get the attacker to lose, and they can lose by timing out. You don't have to completely, get rid of their HP. You don't even have to completely make them run out of time or HP. You can attack their CP. That's harder with a lot of, the meta mains as far as like Tsunade. Indra is almost completely immune to like CP attacks because he has a 0 CP cost and he gets CP back. But yeah, like think about like your options essentially, like time, HP, CP, and then player skill. Like as someone who mains the trap clear, what do you hate most about it, and try to make like that's how you want to model your base. You want to make bases that you actually even hate to play, or that you trick, or that trick you up. I mean, I'm about to get off now. I'll probably leave this up as a live stream. I might do some editing later. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this. I am going to be doing this TAM live stream later tonight with some other YouTubers. I'm gonna post that link in the comment box. Give me a second. Where is this? Later, Kosi. Yeah, but if anyone wants this link, I'm just gonna where is it? Of course, my laptop is now freezing. I'll actually run it with Nation. I think that should be it. shit. Still confused. Alright, yeah. So I'm done. Alright, peace out everyone. Thanks for